Hello my dear students, uh, we have already completed the two videos related to liberalization. In the first video I had discussed about the need of new economic policy. In the second video I had discussed regarding the reforms under the liberalization, and two part has already completed. First was the industrial reforms and second was the financial reforms. Okay, now there are three other reforms that had been taken under the liberalization. First, that is known as the tax reforms. Second, that is known as the trade and investment policy reforms, and the next one and the last one is the foreign exchange reforms. Clear? So tax reforms. So as you know that tax is the most important source of revenue for the government, and we also know that there are two kinds of taxes. One is known as the direct tax and other is known as indirect tax. So direct tax are those tax which is basically imposed or levied by the government over individual according to their income. So that burden can't be changed, and that is known as the direct tax. And indirect tax are those tax which is basically imposed on the goods and services. So here if we take some example of direct tax, we find that income tax, corporation tax, property tax, these are some example of direct tax. On the other hand, tariff duties, excise duties, sale tax, okay, these are known as indirect tax. Clear? So what kind of reforms had been taken related to tax reforms? Here first, reduction in direct tax. So as I told you, direct tax are those tax which burden can't be shifted on others. So if the government impose more direct taxes on the persons, so what will happen? Either point number one, their purchasing power will decrease. Second, they will not voluntarily expose their wealth. Okay, so to protect all these things or to increase the saving of the people for further investment, in the liberalization, reduction of direct tax has been done by the government. Even the corporation tax is also reduced so that the expansion of the firms may take place. Now reform in indirect tax. Okay, so here the term is in missing. Okay, reform in indirect tax. So indirect tax are those tax which is basically imposed on the goods and services. The government tried to manage the one market on the goods and services for the sale of these products, and due to that the government also reduced or some reforms has been taken in direct tax. Previously it was very difficult to gain whatever the tax is given to the government, and it was a very complexity over there. So the government tried to make it very easy, and the reform has been taken in indirect tax. Next is the simplification of tax paying. So as we know that every people, every businessman every year pay taxes. So previously the tax paying system was very complex. The people were least interested to pay the tax because it was complex. So the government made it very simplified. Even the time duration has also has changed, and now the people are capable to pay their tax in a simple way. So in Hindi you can say a सरल system has been developed by the government for making payment in the form of tax. Now the next, goods and service tax, that is known as GST. So a act was passed in the year 2016 because the government wanted to create a single market. Okay, and here here it also tried to implement a single form of tax so that any businessman or any producers can sell their products at any place, and it was implemented in the year 2017, and a slogan was given, one market, one tax. Is it clear? So these tax reforms has been done by the government. Now come to the trade and investment policy reforms. So here first, that is the dismantling of the quantitative restriction on import and exports. Okay, so as we know that before 1990 our economy was closed, so the government tried a system that is known as import substitute. Means less import has been taken so that our flow of currency may not take place outside the country. So this had created the problem of import and export. But when the trade investment policy reforms took place, now such kind of restriction has been removed. Now the people can import as much as goods as they have the requirement or according to the demands, and like that export were also opened so that the foreign exchange may increase in our country. Next is the reduction of tariff rates, that is the import. So previously for importing of goods there was a licensing system. Even the tariff, means a kind of tax, was imposed more. So if more taxes will be taken by the government, the cost of the goods will be great higher, and in that case the government tried to reduce the import, and due to that previously tariff rate was very high, but liberalization took place at that time, reduction also taken in the tariff rates. Next is the removal of licensing procedure for imports. As I told you previously, import substitution system was developed in our country, and due to that licensing system was present. Now when the economy was opened, now this licensing system has been removed by the government, and the people started to import different goods and services from the rest of the world. Now removal of export duties. So here export duties means here also a kind of tax. So if the export duty has been removed so that a exporter can sell their products in the rest of the world, and the cost of the production goods will decrease. So as the cost of production reduce, it means the prices of the goods will also decrease, and we are capable to export more and more number of goods to rest of the world. Now come to the third point, that is known as the foreign exchange reforms. So foreign exchange means foreign currency. That is very simple. That is known as foreign exchange, means foreign currency. So what kind of reforms taken in the foreign exchange? So first, that is the devaluation of rupees. So you should know first of all what is devaluation. So devaluation is a process in which the government reduces the domestic currency value in respect of other currency. So if the domestic currency value decrease, it means our export will increase because the other countries will pay less amount for the goods and services and will buy more. So this system was developed in the year 1991. 1991. Okay. So the main reason for that devaluation of rupees, because at that time our balance of payment was not in the favor of the country, means outflow was more and inflow was less. So to maintain the balance of payment, devaluation system of rupees has been done. Next is the determination of foreign exchange rate. So there are two kinds of determination of foreign exchange. One is known as the fixed exchange rate and other is known as the floating exchange rate. So fixed exchange rate means the rate which is determined by the government, or in a simple word we can say any interferences takes place in the exchange rate, that is known as fixed exchange rate, and that interferences is taken by the government. But here the determination of foreign exchange rate has been done on the basis of two forces, that is known as demand and supply. Here there is no intervention of government. According to the demand and supply, the rate of the foreign exchange is determined in the foreign exchange market, and it helped our rupee to maintain a particular rate, so that we are now capable to buy goods and services according to that exchange rate. So in this way we can say the three reforms had been taken during liberalization: tax reforms, trade and investment policy reforms, foreign exchange reforms. So there are some technical or economical words you must read out through the books and try to write a good answer. Okay, thank you.